Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ian from Savvy Zen. Today is the first day and the first video of the Ashtanga Hacks series. So, what is the Ashtanga Hacks series? It is an exploration into the different perspectives of Ashtanga, different perspectives of how to do poses, where to do yoga, how to do Ashtanga, and a lot of other stuff as I will start to discover that along this path of making these videos. I see a lot of the time that people just do the same pose the same way all the time. They show up to the practice and maybe they go a little bit lighter, but if you ask them show me a different way to do this pose, they may not be able to offer an answer. And when we're taking a heart-oriented approach to Ashtanga, then we need to have that. We need to have those options so that we can cater to how we're feeling on that specific day. Sometimes we need a more fluid and more slow approach to get into poses. So today though, on day one, I have to talk about one of my favorite Ashtanga hacks, and that's doing Ashtanga out in nature. You know, we were told by Patabi Joyce in the Yoga Mala that doing it outside is a problem and you shouldn't do it at above a certain degree, and you shouldn't do it outside or especially in the sunlight. I'm sure that has something to do with sapping your energy, but I feel great when I do it outside. Sure, it can sap your energy. You have to figure out like the process and when to do it and how it's going to affect you. But I get a huge boost when I do it outside. And that is reason number one about why to do Ashtanga outside sometimes, because we get stuck inside a certain mold when we do it inside all the time. Especially if we go to the same Mysore room 6 days a week, it's literally this routine, and we get in a certain mindset. We walk in there with a similar mindset every day and a certain perspective, and we see things, the same lights up there, the same thing every single day. That is a recipe for stagnation. That is a recipe for stuckness. Some may argue that's a recipe. Being in the same place can create a form of meditation. However, yeah, I could get that at some point, but you need to get out into the world. This spot actually, like right here, is when I started doing Ashtanga a few years ago. I started doing my sun salutations. I would come right here and just do 10 or 20. It really made me fall in love with the practice. It was out here in the Vegas heat, and it was hard, and I was like, what is this? And I would do standing series, and it was great. So doing it outside can just change your perspective. It can show you different angles when you're doing certain poses, especially in the standing series, when you're looking at clouds, when you're looking at grass. So the perspective change is number one. Number two is that it can actually improve your practice, and especially during the standing series, because we're gripping a lot with our feet. Like in Pasarita Padottanasana, we're like gripping and we're messing around with our feet. And all the warriors, like in standing series, it all starts with the feet, and which is the root of the tree, and then the energy rises. So when you're on uneven ground and it's a little bit sketchy, that can be a positive a lot of the time, because you become aware of your feet shifting and balance and whatnot. Also, during jump backs and stuff, it can really, like I said, this is uneven ground, so I'm sitting here and it's totally different than doing it on like the typical mat. I personally, they both have their advantages and disadvantages, but I think it can really change how you look at the balance and the connection to your practice, and how great, and make you feel abundant to how great it feels to have a yoga mat. I mean, if you do it here, then you go to practice on the yoga mat, it's like way easier on the yoga mat. So number three is that it grounds us. So there's been this big thing in science for the last few years called grounding, and that's where you connect to the earth by being barefoot. Multiple scientific studies have shown that grounding can help reduce inflammation, reduce stress levels, and actually has had positive effects with people with diseases. And that's not saying it can cure cancer, because it can't, but it can help create correlations, I'm sure, with happiness and other secondary factors that may like help your body with fighting a disease. So to ground, typically it's advised that you get out on grass or on dirt or connect to the earth barefoot for 20 minutes a day. So getting out here and doing your yoga practice can automatically do that. I think it's fairly obvious that most mystics in the yogic tradition, the Buddhist tradition, a lot of them didn't have shoes, or a lot of them lived in caves and were grounded. They were on the earth. They were feeling the energy of the earth, which is the most powerful energy source in the whole universe. So getting out here and getting hands-on this big galactic ball of energy floating through space can be actually kind of a cool little thing to do, especially if you're into connecting to energy and whatnot. So that is the first Ashtanga hack. Probably over the next few months, I'm just going to be doing poses and showing 4 or 5 ways to get into different poses. I'm super excited about that. I kind of have a game plan for some of those already. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will see you guys next time.